This is News 6 Tonight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday's edition of News 6 Tonight. Thank you so much for making a little bit of time out of your busy day, because we know it's busy, to kind of catch up on some of the headlines of today. And boy, what a doozy of a day we have had. This is why I love news. First of all, I'm Ginger Gatz, and this is the lovely Tylisa Hampton, who
Hi.
is filling in for Matt tonight. I love news because no 2 days are the same. We go to the 2:30 editorial meeting
Mhm.
thinking that you're going to be covering a different kind of
Yes.
story, and you're sitting there and we're all going over the day's news of what we're going to start at 4 o'clock, and all of a sudden someone from our assignment desk comes in and says, wait, there's something going on. And just like that, you were shot just out of that room like a cannon.
Just
And you just got back into the newsroom a short while ago. This was
Mhm.
2:30 today, because there is a
Yes.
big story happening Northwest Orlando.
Yes, that's exactly right. So all of this took place on the road in Edgewater Drive. So
Mhm.
police shut down a portion of this intersection, and then when we got there, we didn't even know really what we were going to be going to. But
Yeah.
when we got there, we quickly saw that SWAT arrived on scene later on. There was a press conference with Orlando Police
Mhm.
Department. They then talked about how this was a barricaded situation with the suspects. So you can see on your screen right there, SWAT going into this. Now, when we were there, we heard a big boom when SWAT got in, and
Look
then
at the windows
I know
shattered.
the windows were shattered out. We heard a big boom, and then so many bystanders were there. Everybody just kind of gasped when they heard it. But even the bystanders earlier, they were telling me that they heard multiple gunshots, and so. Later on, after this all happened, police finally had a press conference and they talked about what actually happened. So here's the police chief there now.
When the SWAT team showed up on scene, a person exited the back of their business with an AK-47 style rifle, and then he retreated back into the business as shots were being fired. It's very dangerous for all of our officers. They train very extensively for this kind of operation, but they're at total risk. So anytime you have any kind of fire like this and a shooting like this, it's very dangerous for everybody involved. It's dangerous for our community.
So this all
Wow.
happened at a tattoo shop, and police were actually there to serve a search warrant.
Those are some of the most dangerous things they can
Mhm.
do, because everybody, that's why you never say it's a routine this or a
Mhm.
routine that, because anything can turn just like that super dangerous in a matter of minutes or seconds, and lives are at stake. And this is a very busy area. It's so busy, Tylee. So
Mhm.
part of the way I come into work is passing this area. I did not even know that I was caught up in some of this activity, because there was a cop truck that came
Yes.
up behind me. I could not get out of his way fast enough. I did not know this is where he was heading, because we're
Mhm.
going in the same direction, because it's not even that far from where we work right now.
Well, your experience is probably many others' experience traveling down this road. There were so many cop cars
My
going
goodness.
in and out that I can imagine if one is behind you, you're like, okay, well, let me just get out of the way quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Hmm.
And even just a few minutes ago, you had said that life situation for so many people out there. There were so many people out there. At some point, things did get tense for those waiting to hear about their family members that were in that tattoo
Oh,
shop.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, we could hear them screaming at police there, asking for any information. This is all before the press conference.
Hmm.
And then, even when that press conference happened, I went over there and I talked to them and I said anything that we could accurately say about that press conference and relate that information. They were really appreciative of that. And then there was a pawn shop owner also on scene, and we were able to talk to him. He was actually working during the time when SWAT knocked on the door.
Oh my gosh. So he heard
Mhm.
all of that
He heard
happening.
everything.
Yeah. Who else did you talk to?
So we talked to him. We had talked to the family member. The family members, they did not want to go on camera. However, they did say that they were calling, texting their loved ones, and
Hmm.
they had not heard anything back. So they were waiting on those answers. And then other people that were there earlier, they said that they didn't have any family inside, but they just heard the gunshots and were wondering what happened.
And the question we were trying to get answered is that when Police Chief Eric Adams, or I'm sorry, Eric Smith, was saying that, okay, when we got in there, there was a
Mhm.
person deceased. So it's
Mhm.
like, did your guys do that, or was that person dead when you guys walked in?
That question, so many others were asking us, and we could not obviously give them an answer because the police, they were saying, well, this is under investigation.
It's
So,
part of the investigation.
mhm.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And so,
It's
but we have sound from that pawn shop owner who was there, and this is what he had to say.
I looked over and I see all these SWAT vehicles pulling up and cops jumping out of it. And what happened was they headed down the way. The banging I heard on the door turned out to be 5 fire shots.
Now, I asked him after he said 5 fire shots, I said, "How intense was this?" He said he is from LA, and this was very intense.
Oh
So
my
that just
gosh.
put it into perspective
Yeah,
there.
it really does. You just never know. And you think it's Friday, everybody's getting ready for the weekend, and
Mhm,
you're in there getting a tattoo, and here comes this search warrant and SWAT
mhm.
and this explosion and somebody running out the
Yes.
back. It was a very scary situation. And I give you guys credit because you got down there. Who was your photographer today?
Tony.
Okay. Yeah, you guys were down there. And the thing, we're covering this live on TV.
Mhm,
And I know how it is when you're out there on the scene. You want to get the most accurate and very best information you can. I got nervous when I saw you walk up to a guy on live TV and say, "Hey, do you want to talk about
mhm,
whatever it is that you witnessed or what you think is
mhm.
going on in there?" And he almost talked to you, but I was like, "Oh, please don't follow him."
Yes.
Because you just never know. And live TV is something else. People get very emotional and sometimes reactionary.
And I think you could also just feel I mean, you could probably feel the emotion on the screen
Yeah.
because he was one of the people that were screaming, asking police, "What about my loved one?
Yeah.
Have we heard anything?"
Yeah.
And then, I mean, in the commercial breaks, you couldn't hear it, but I mean, it seems like just about every other person there had their own individual breakdown at some point,
Yeah. Yeah.
wondering where was their loved one.
But we know that you would never put yourself in a dangerous
Mhm,
situation, and we're trained that way. But you just
mhm,
kind of want to get the information in that
mhm.
moment. You're like, here's a person who looks like they want to
Yes.
talk. So, but great job out there getting all that information as that scene was unfolding. And still, we have so many unanswered questions. But I
Mhm.
know that we'll continue to work in the days going forward to figure out exactly what happened there. So, great work. Another story that is really just sad and just shocking to this community is an 18-year-old who died on a cruise ship. She was on a 6-day cruise, and this happened November 7th is when we got the report that this 18-year-old who goes to this small Christian school in Titusville, was found dead on this ship. And we still don't know, how did she die? Was it an accident? Was it something nefarious? We do not know. They're still investigating it. So your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero, went to the neighborhood to talk to people to try and find some answers because they just want to know what happened.
A week after a teenager died on a cruise, authorities still aren't saying how Anna Kepner died. I'm your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero. From Anna's neighborhood to her school, everyone I'm talking to is wondering, when will the FBI give this heartbroken community some answers?
What happened to this poor girl, you know?
Friday, I met neighbor Joe Souza taking a walk on Anna's street. Like many, he's following news about the death. With Miami's medical examiner putting the time of death as Friday, November the 7th, the ship she was on, the Carnival Horizon, returned to Miami the following day.
It was on a cruise ship. The girl was found dead in a room. So who knows what happened, right? The FBI is the only one that's going to find out.
Each time this week when I asked, the FBI told me it had nothing new to report. Meanwhile, Anna's car is still here at Temple Christian School.
The weather's holding the flowers up beautifully and people are still stopping by, visiting.
Parent Dana Wolf told me no one's hearing anything new on campus either.
Answers would be good because it's still been over, a week and nobody knows much other than what the newses are telling you, and that's just it was a death.
Yeah, and by all accounts, she was just such a delightful person. I think she was getting ready to go into the military to serve our country, and people just talked about her. It sounds like a cliche when people say, "Oh, whenever she walked into a room, she lit it up." But so many people said the same thing.
Well, also, it's also represented on the flowers on her car,
Of
how loved she was.
100%. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a really good point. Her celebration of life will be held next Thursday. And of course, we will continue to follow that story and figure out exactly what happened on that cruise ship to this 18-year-old who had so much promise and her life was just cut so short and it
Yeah.
was just too soon. Yeah, it's just one of those sad situations. And hopefully, we'll be able to get some answers.
Well, you just said sad situation. Unfortunately, the next story is just
It's a
another
sad block
sad
of news
situation.
today
It is a
on
sad block.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, Volusia County Sheriff's Office, they said an 8-year-old had to give his dad Narcan after an overdose. And they also have the audio recording of that little boy calling Sheriff's Office.
Let's listen to what that story is about because Troy Campbell was the one who reported this last night. And it still is one of those stories. When you hear it, it just shocks your soul. So let's listen to Troy's report.
I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, and right now we are in Volusia County, and that's because on Tuesday, deputies responded to a home for an apparent drug overdose. However, it was a call placed into 911 by the man's 8-year-old son.
911, what's the status of your emergency?
My dad won't wake up.
How old are you, buddy?
8.
You're 8? Okay.
In this call to 911 from Tuesday afternoon, you can hear a young boy from inside his Edgewater home pleading for help after his father became unconscious from an apparent drug overdose.
Can you see if he's breathing?
Yeah.
He is breathing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's good. Can you yell to your dad to see if he'll wake up? Can you just say, Daddy, wake up?
I even tried hitting him.
You tried hitting him and he didn't wake up?
Investigators say 44-year-old Daniel Johnson told his son earlier in the day to administer Narcan on him if something were to happen to him while he was consuming several different types of illegal drugs. In the call, you can hear the boy say he attempted to do just that.
My dad told me to use this thing that would, if he wouldn't wake up, it would save him, but nothing happened.
My God, you're doing dope and you want your 8-year-old kid to revive you. Dad trained him to be his eyes and ears if he overdosed. I mean, really, think of that. Think of how sick and perverted and twisted that is. I'm going to use drugs, and if I die or if I come close to overdosing, my kid's going to save me.
It just, when you hear that little 8-year-old's voice making that 911 call, which is one of the most serious things I hope he ever has to do in his entire life, your blood just boils because no 8-year-old should ever be in that position. I can understand if he trained him how to use an EpiPen, like if he had an allergic reaction,
Yes.
everybody would understand that. But this is in case of an overdose. It just
But
breaks
even
your
the
heart.
8-year-old, when he says, I even hit him, like you trained the steps.
Yeah.
And knowing that, okay, if I overdosed,
Yeah.
here's my son, 8 years old, gonna
Here's
wake
what you
me up.
and even more tragic, if the story could possibly be any more tragic, is that this child also lost his mom to a drug overdose, which is probably one of the reasons his dad it trained him. But Sheriff Chitwood said he was going to do something nice
Yes.
for this young man, and goodness knows he deserves it, and he deserves all the goodness that is heading his way. Hopefully, he never has to experience anything like that again. I think the father was charged with child endangerment or neglect or something like that. But that little boy, his life is forever changed, and hopefully it gets on the right track after that. You shouldn't have to go through that at 8.
No. I mean, the trauma that could carry from that. But I
Of
mean, when the
course.
sheriff said, it's important to note that just like you said that the sheriff, they're not leaving that little boy.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, okay, we're gonna be there for you.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Sheriff Chitwood, he's a man of his word. So they will be there for that child whenever he needs anything in the future. And hopefully that is nothing. So anyway, okay. Well, stay with us. We're going to try and lighten the mood when we come back because it's one of,
Please, Ginger.
I feel so responsible. We have one of our favorite things happening, and it kicked off today. We're talking about Angel Tree. We'll talk about it when we come back. Yeah, and he got the latest from the sheriff just a little while ago, I think. So we'll make sure we have that for News 6 tonight. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, but news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
That's right. And this is News 6 Tonight, where we leverage this entire busy newsroom with our community correspondents, our producers, our content desk, and then we filter through that. We have a casual conversation about the news that impacts Central Florida.
Yeah, we live here in the community, and we rely on you for our neighborhood network because you're our eyes and ears as well, and we can't do it without you.
So you can watch us all over the place, YouTube, News 6 Plus app, and clickorlando.com. While you're here, feel free to engage. Let us know who you are and where you're from.
Welcome back, everyone, to News 6 Tonight. I know we said we were going to lighten the mood of this show, and we are after this story. So
You're like, pause.
we have one more story. It happened back in February where an Orlando police officer was pursuing someone. He could not read his tag. So he's tried to pull him over because he couldn't read the tag, and it led to a high-speed chase. This officer ended up hitting someone and didn't even realize he had hit somebody. And it ended up being a homeless guy. And the guy was dragged under the car for a little while. He ended up dying. And we just learned that that officer whose high-speed chase ended with a homeless man's death will not be facing any more charges or any charges in that at all. Your News 6 community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, has reaction and more on that.
I'm Stephanie Rodriguez reporting from Orlando. We now know the Orlando police officer whose high-speed chase that ended here at Indiana and Rio Grande and resulted in a homeless man getting run over and killed won't face any charges.
Oh, there was a guy under your truck.
Under my truck?
That was the moment Detective Christopher Moulton learned he had run over a man while trying to pull over Darnell Bargnair for not having a readable license plate. The chase reached 90 miles per hour. It ended here on Indiana Street where Gerald Neal was standing. Bargnair hit him as he jumped the curb before hitting this pole behind me, and then Moulton's car ran over Neal just seconds later. Moulton got out of his truck and chased Bargnair. Once Neal was spotted by another officer, he was taken to a hospital where he later died. Prosecutors say the injuries that killed the 56-year-old were caused by Bargnair, so he's being charged with vehicular homicide. But the state attorney's office found there wasn't enough evidence to charge Moulton.
You have to look at, well, what caused that crash?
Attorney Evan Self, who isn't affiliated with this case, says if the prosecutor felt a conviction wasn't possible, the right decision was made.
The actual cause of the crash and then the cause of the injury was really caused by the defendant leaving and fleeing.
Those who knew Neal and were there that night feel otherwise.
If it wasn't for him leaving his truck on top of Gerald for 33 minutes, he would never died.
OPD released a statement saying Moulton is still on alternative duty pending an internal investigation into any policy and procedure violations.
Yeah, so a lot of people are asking questions. Should he have been in that chase to begin with? He couldn't read somebody's tag, and then here this man ends up being almost collateral damage, but he didn't even know he had hit something, much less a person.
The reaction when he says under my car?
Yeah, I know. And it's just one of those things where you just kind of scratch your head, but in hope something like that never happens again. It's just kind of very curious.
Well, Ginger, if you're not ready, I'm ready. Let's make that hard turn over.
Let's shift us into another gear, please.
We're going to a Christmas miracle, people.
That's what this is. We're gonna need one tonight. Yeah.
So News 6, the Salvation Army, they're kicking off this Angel Cheek program to bring joy to thousands of families. Thankfully, we have some smiles. There's some laughter.
Oh, a lot of
laughter.
yes, yeah. It's our favorite thing this time of year.
Yeah. So if you don't like Santa, I hope you love our anchor Lisa Bell. She brings us the story.
From kickoff day in mid-November, people across Central Florida spent the next 4 weeks adopting the perfect angel.
I have a 9-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl.
From trees at the Mall at Millennia, Chick-fil-A restaurants, and online.
Without this, they would have nothing under the tree at all. Oh my gosh.
Opening their hearts and wallets, all to make the magic happen for 6,000 kids and seniors. Their name, age, and clothing size listed on their wish list.
And it doesn't matter what's in that bag. I know it's going to put a smile on my son's face.
All the gifts then purchased, packed, and delivered to the Salvation Army's so-called Joy Center for Distribution Day.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Y'all have a blessed day. It's a day we at News 6 look forward to every year. Hundreds of bicycles rolled in and rolled out.
Pick one teddy bear per shop.
Along with stuffed stockings and bags full of gifts.
Oh, she's gonna love this.
We met one mom last year who was battling brain cancer.
Blue is her favorite color. She loves bears. So we're gonna do a white teddy bear with blue.
Dozens of elves making their list and checking it twice.
You know, it's the season of giving, and I said, let me find something to and give my time.
Giving countless hours to match the right gifts with the right angel before heading out to their new home.
A unicorn. What I teach all my kids, Christmas is not about receiving gifts. Just be thankful that you was able to see Christmas.
Oh, that's that. Can't you feel that hug through the screen? It's
I was over here
so
like,
good.
oh.
I'm so happy that you are here for this time of year, Tylisa. I know
Mhm.
you're new and you just got here, but I think this is going to be one of the things that you really love to see us do in the community. And the people is such a great response, and it makes you so thankful. And you never take things for granted. You try not to, but when you see an angel tag and a child wants underwear,
Yeah. Yeah.
you start to think about how blessed you really are and when you have all the things that you need. So I love it. Go pick up your tags. We tell you on clickorlando.com how you can adopt an angel. You can do it in person, you can do it virtually. It's so good. And it'll make you feel good too.
Ginger, I think we could all see you feeling good. You got the hugs
I
in
know
there.
it's so good. That's my favorite thing, honestly. I'm a people person. I'm a big hugger. Everybody who knows me knows that. All right, let's talk about our weekend forecast because we have been waiting for this weekend. We started the week pretty cold, and things are starting to warm up again. David Nazario joins us now. But David, we have some changes in the forecast for tomorrow, especially people who are going to be on the roads tomorrow morning.
We do, yeah. We're tracking a little bit of fog out there. That's probably going to be the headline as we go over the next 7 to possibly even 14 days. Right now, we just don't have any major weather players. So I see how you all stacked the show. You got the heavy hitters out of the way, and then we built up to the positive news because we're going to keep the positivity flowing here with what we're tracking here in the weather department. Can we pull up some of the graphics? There we go.
Oh, wow.
So these are your headlines right now. We've got a couple chilly mornings in store for us. We're going to be hanging out in the upper 50s across Central Florida as we go over the next few days, the next 3 to 4 days, perhaps maximum into early next week. We're pinpointing that AM fog for Saturday and Sunday. It's particularly going to be on the western side of our viewing area, from the Gainesville, Ocala area, trickling down into Lake and Sumter County, and then maybe even my neck of the woods into Upper Polk County. And then we've got a big time warm up ahead of us. Let me show you why that is. So on the water vapor, we have that trough that was positioned over us earlier this week, and it's pretty impressive how fast it's worked its way off towards the east. That's what dropped in that polar plunge back on the likes of Monday, Tuesday, and our Wednesday. But then over the Great Plains, if you look closely there, we've got that arcing motion kind of flowing clockwise. That's a subtropical ridge that's now building up from the Caribbean, the equatorial areas. It's going to drive a bunch of warmth up towards us. And believe it or not, this thing is going to possibly be so stubborn. We're looking at above average temperatures, fairly above average temperatures, pretty much leading us right on into that Thanksgiving holiday. So hopefully the Macy's Day Parade is a little chillier than we are down here, because what we're tracking right now in the weather department looks like we could definitely be in more of a Florida style Thanksgiving and Black Friday ahead within the next 2 weeks.
Oh, that's what people want. They were not here. They did not sign up for that cold weather we saw dipping down into the 30s
No,
earlier this
exactly.
week. Nobody wants to see that again, David. But hopefully we'll get, some holiday weather coming as we get closer to
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving and Christmas. All right, David, thank you. We'll see. Are you streaming tonight at 9:30 or no?
Unfortunately, no, not tonight. Still dealing
Okay.
with the internet outage across the board here in the Digi Room.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we always look forward to seeing you, so we'll see you again on the news at 10 o'clock. Thanks, David. Okay, that's great news,
Yes.
except for the little bit of fog you're going to have in the morning. So people who are going to hit the roads. When we come back, we're going to have some more. So stay with us.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart, also good looking, because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down
Oh my
below.
gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
All right, we are out of time tonight. Thank you, Tylisa, for being a good sport and doing like our big breaking news story
That's what I'm
today.
here
And
for, Ginger.
yes, you are, and you're doing a phenomenal job. We
Thanks.
love that. So thank you for doing that and taking the time to break that story down because it's pretty complicated. We have a lot more coming up tonight on News 6 at 10 o'clock. We hope you take the time to join us then. Double launches happening tonight. I love a good launch, but when you can get 2 for the price of 1,
Even better.
even better. All right, y'all have a good night and have a good weekend and be safe out there if you're in that fog in the morning. Bye.